Hey everybody, welcome to Versus. This is episode 24 of Versus. I'm John Maher, as well Cohen. We've come up with this long Louisa Warren kick where like all the movies were like at best like shit. So I think I'm just soft because this movie this week didn't hurt me so bad. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing well. Yeah, maybe it's because my day was more eventful than I probably should have. We'll just leave it at that for now. So thinking about this movie, it's like you're right. It's not horrible. Uh, I think the worst. I think the worst thing I can say about this film is that it's once again one of those films that just takes a decent premise and just flushes it down the goddamn toilet. But no, it's inoffensive.
We're talking about the mutation, and the rat costume from this movie has shown up in other films. But see if you recognize it.
This is zoologist Alan Marsh and his assistant Julie Larkin. We're not really sure, but we don't think this murder was committed by another human.
We got one body, male. What do you think you could have done this?
I want to find out what my husband was working on up there, and I want to find out what killed him.
You're saying some mutated creature is walking these streets?
That thing is angry and it is hungry.
Once again, like one of these films just don't make sense. But trying to find sense in anything that Jagged Edge or Champ Dog or any of these companies, that's just kind of their shtick. Their shtick is just absolute nonsense. So with that being said, first I do want to say, if you didn't figure it out, I am going to reveal the hand. That I believe that's the rat costume from the likes of Conjuring the Genie.
Yes.
Which the reason why I remembered that is because that rat in this film has some of the same sick dance moves that it had in Conjuring the Genie, which means it's a dry heave on fucking legs.
But wasn't that supposed to be a werewolf in Conjuring the Genie? Like it was the person turned into that, and they were like a werewolf. But it's also a rat. It's multi-purpose.
Well, and here's the thing with Conjuring the Genie. They said it was like he wanted to be the strongest creature, and rats are oddly strong.
Pound for pound, they're strong.
So.
Yeah. I kind of want to jump around with this movie because like there's like so many things that just struck me as funny. Like the movie itself, like you're right, it's a good concept. They stick to the gimmick at least. Like but they just do stupid stuff. Like they really want to drive home, like most Jagged Edge films, they really want to drive home that they're in America. The steering wheel's on the correct side of the car for them to be in America, and the cop slides a business card across the table that says he's part of the police force of the United States.
Here's my card. Don't be afraid to just call me if you can think of anything, okay?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. And, you know, at least they got the steering wheel part right, because I remember the first time I did one of these films before I became the co-host of this, before the rebrand. Actually, no, it wasn't. Ironically, it wasn't one that I was going to be the co-host on. I decided I wanted to watch Sky Monster in case you couldn't find a co-host. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are in Florida driving on the left-hand side of the road. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I 100% believe this. But at least you're right. At least they finally had enough budget to say, hey, we can get cars with the steering wheel on this site now.
Yes.
And for all we know, they may have actually filmed this in America. I doubt it.
Who knows?
But either way, like, I think that's the most complimentary thing we can say, is at least they got some of okay, no, not some. They got one thing correct.
And the makeup is not horrible. Like, people have like wounds that look like wounds.
Looks like these bandages haven't been changed.
I'll get to that in a minute.
But I mean, compared to like other movies where they're just like taking fake blood and smearing it on people. So there's that.
Get to that in a minute.
However, they do have the stupid dollar store guns, and they don't take care to not point the gun at the camera, so you can see that the barrel is solid. So that's a common Jagged Edge mistake.
I found Peter. I killed him.
I'm gonna shoot you, motherfucker! Right in front of them, and
the gun's always off camera, and they just do like flashes. That's how they do gunshots in this movie.
Yeah, if you want to see some entertainment from that already, check out the Nurkin game below. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But the problem I have with the wounds itself, it's like, fine. The aftermath, you actually see some wounds. Like, we see the peeling back the sheet at the beginning with the scientists who created this goddamn thing. You see like some like random clubby person, like with her chest, like,
I want to point out that girl, Maya Brown, is her name. She's been in a few of these movies, but she actually, it's the same alleyway that she gets killed in Looks Can Kill. It's the same exact alleyway with the same stupid boxing sign. That poor girl has to die in the same exact spot twice in two of these movies. So.
Wow, that is very special. But my problem is that they, like, when the action is actually happening, like, I first noticed this with the very first kill, where the guy is like grabbing his neck, trying to like keep his blood in. First of all, there's no blood coming down,
right?
And also when he, like, right before he dies, he lifts his hand up, and there's no wound. So it's like the wounds are added after the fact.
Yeah, they're willy-nilly.
So it's like the inconsistency on that bothered me. But again, there's
a lot more inconsistencies in this movie. I also want to know, like, the miracle in these movies where, like, doors are locked from the inside, and you and I are on opposite sides of a door, and neither one of us can unlock the door. Like, how the hell does that happen?
Open the door. It's for the guy to open that fucking lock. Where's the key? Here you go upstairs and get her. Go.
It harkens back to a joke on Family Guy where Peter locks himself inside a car.
Yeah.
And he, like, literally uses a coat hanger to try and pick up the keys that are on the ground. It's like, that is Rhodes Scholar level compared to these morons. But
there's
again,
also the scene when they're in the restaurant and they all got into the restaurant. Like they're all in the restaurant eating. But when the giant rat attacks the restaurant, they all run to the front door and they can't get out of the restaurant, out the exit they must have come into the restaurant through.
Not everyone had the idea of undoing the deadbolt, or at
Or
the
just
very
pushing
least,
the
like
door
trying to
open.
ram the door,
Yeah.
or look for the exit.
I would say that restaurant scene is, to me, like the centerpiece of this movie, because like a girl is the rat comes into the kitchen, kills the dishwasher. Attacks the waitress. They stumble into the restaurant. So it's a woman being attacked by a human-sized rat, and everyone in the restaurant is like nonplussed. They're just like they crane their necks, like, what's going on right in front of me? And it takes them forever to react. And also it takes the police officer forever to draw his gun.
I mean, every single time like someone draws a gun in this movie, it takes them far too long to draw it, or even better, they have it drawn and for some reason they decide to put the gun away even when they're faced with imminent danger. This literally happens in the first 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Christ, how did you get out? Come on now.
And it just never gets any less stupid. And so I think it's because they fired their FX guy who would come in and digitally add in the muzzle flares. I think they just fired that guy entirely. And so they just had to not use the guns that they had.
And I'll say the last piece of crazy inconsistency that has to be pointed out is there is a female police officer, Megan Purvis. We've seen her in a bunch of movies. She goes into the laboratory and she is attacked by the rat while she's in a cage. And then the person who's revealed as the bad guy, the lady doctor, shoots her. Because that's the big reveal that she's dead. So she gets her hand bitten off. She gets shot twice. It's also the middle of the night. But the next time we see her is the next scene, and she's in the dining room getting eaten by the rat, and it's morning.
Yeah.
It's wow, that's one tough lady. And they keep cutting back to this poor girl. I she's alive, I guess, but she's dying. She dies for a long time.
Yeah. I thought Louisa Warren liked torturing women. The two boneheads who directed this must really had it out for that actress.
Well, Scott Chambers is one of the directors, and he's the guy now for Jagged Edge. He's the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey guy. I think he actually plays Christopher Robin in the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey too.
Oh, okay.
He's their guy. But yeah, and that's basically not that we're done talking about this movie, but that's basically the whole movie. It looks like the husband is the one that created the rat. Turns out the wife is the one that created the rat because she's an oncologist and she was experimenting on the rat to cure cancer, and she didn't expect the rat to become a human-sized rat. And then the rat keeps growing and then you see that shitty CGI scene where the rat is like the size of a building, and then how do they resolve that problem? Will?
All I remember is that they tried shooting at it, which obviously didn't work out.
They did shoot it, but our main character, what's his name, Alan, who's a zoologist, and believe me, though, that gets driven home a lot. He figures out like the rat's going to keep growing, and it does keep growing, and the rat just explodes. Like they don't do anything; the rat just explodes, and blood flies all over him and his assistant.
Whatever that thing's taken, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. It's just gonna keep mutating, and there's only so much as one can take. Just watch it.
And then like that's the end.
Well, no, it's not the end because basically they just, because after that one explodes, they hear something and they go, huh, there's more of them. Credits.
Oh, fuck, of course there's more.
Oh yeah, it's every Jagged Edge movie, right? And that's the spiders in the attic, and like they can't just win. There has to be more rats, and of course, there's no sequel to this. Thank goodness. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything worthwhile in this movie. Oh, also, like there's for some reason the main character Alan is like divorcing his wife in the beginning, but like every woman wants this guy. That's like a subplot to the movie.
I mean, like everyone. I mean, like when you drop the title of special zoologist, like that you're just gonna be rolling in the kitty, right?
Rolling in it. Everyone,
like when you look like homeless Jesus the entire movie.
He's also the photographer from both of the demonic plastic surgeon movies. That's the man we're talking about. The guy that had sex with the geriatric woman. That's our boy.
And it's like this guy clearly has the same level of scruples. It's like, hey, I'm helping investigate your husband's murder, so of course I'm gonna try and fuck you.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of scenes where like that's going on. It's like dragged out like a lot. It's weird, but let's talk about how we feel about this movie. Well, what would you rate this movie?
I believe I gave this movie a 2, just because it's not horrible. It's inoffensive. It's for the most part just boring. Like when all the actors are like delivering like Shatner like dramatic pauses when they don't need to. They're dropping terminology that you can very clearly believe no one actually understood in the script at all. Like when writing the script, no one understood what the fuck they were saying. A twist that comes like out of nowhere if you weren't paying attention to the movie at all.
It's the twist that has to be the twist. Yeah.
So it's maybe it's just we're just finally done with the Warren, the Louisa Warren films. I didn't hate it by any stretch, but it didn't elicit anger out of me either.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like there's every common misstep, every stupid misstep, but in this movie, it's just like it's like the welcome embrace of an old friend at this point. Like when you see all the dumb shit, it's like, oh, it's this they're using the stupid shitty prop guns. Oh, they're doing their dumb shitty CGI. But like it's fine. So I'm also at a 2. This is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's dumb shit. But it's dumb shit that is in a logical sequential order. And then they do the same familiar dumb shit. It's not insultingly bad. Like you said, it's not horrible. It's just terrible. That'll actually do it for this week. If you made this part of the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group, Why We Love Horror. Check out the TikTok below me, WWL Horror. And whatever. I'm going to throw up the Face of Horror thing, you could vote for me there. I'd appreciate it. I probably won't win. They're just going to have some girl from OnlyFans win, I'm sure. That's just the way it works.
And also, if you actually do want to subject yourself to this goddamn movie, like we said before, there's a specialized cocktail and a drinking game down below. Have at it, folks.
Yeah. So schedule on Why We Love Horror is always the same. Monday, it's versus you're watching it. Tuesday, we do horror headlines. Wednesday, we do special editions. Thursday, we do Why We Love Horror. This week, I think we're doing Azrael. And Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia. I think I might get Will's matchup this week. So we'll see what happens then. Again, thanks for stopping by. This has been Versus.